What's going on, guys? Another iPhone 8 leaks and rumors. In the last week, there's been a lot of information I'd like to share with you, and this one's going to be more on the negative side. We've already had a couple of videos where I discussed features that won't be happening that we wished would, and I've got even more to add to the list, starting with design. The iPhone 8 may not look how we predicted it, how we would like it to look like. In fact, it may be a step back from that. So we thought it would be bezel-less, it would look really high-tech, look cool, and according to Ming-Chi Kuo, this is how it should look like. But in the latest leak from Vanya Geskin, this is what the iPhone 8 may actually look like. As disappointing as it is, this picture here brought to the attention of Vanya Geskin by a guy that works at a shipping company that has to open these packages, inspect them, and apparently in a low security level, he managed to snap this picture. It actually looks very legitimate, something that Apple would do, package these screens in this manner. They've got ribbon cables attached to them and QR codes, so it certainly seems legitimate. But these displays are not the futuristic ones that we expected, that we hyped, that I personally would be proud to keep in my pocket. Although it is a step up from the current iPhone 7 Plus design, it's not as hoped. So it does look good, but man, what a disappointment from what we expected. The guy also mentioned that there are pallets full of these, confidently saying that this is probably the production run and not just a prototype. So, personally I've thought maybe these are prototypes, maybe these aren't the real deals, but no, he says that there are so many and he's used to seeing them around this time that this is the real deal. Now, thank goodness Vanya Geskin disagrees and thinks that the official one that we talked about might still be happening, but there's still some other supporting claims that might mean that this is the real thing. So the very same guy says that an investigation was opened immediately after the leaking of these photos and that Apple is trying to figure out where they came from. So that adds sort of credibility that this design might be the real deal. But man, please do not be this. I mean, this is just a lazy attempt that Apple tried to do the futuristic thing, beating Samsung in their own display game, but then just gave up and said, hey, we can't do it this year. This is what we're going to ship you instead. Please don't be real. Now, yes, this isn't the design I'd like to see, but Vanya did share an optimistic look at the real finalized version, and he shared this image. So I gotta say, it doesn't look terrible. It's not what we expected. It does have some good sides to it as well. Personally, I see it as an improvement over the 7 Plus in every single way. Yes, the display is larger. There are less bezels, much like the iPad Pro 10.5 inch has less bezels than the last one. It looks better. This would be the same version, but on the iPhone side. So less bezels, same aspect ratio, making your content and games display and it's easier so it doesn't have to be stretched or cut off. So I do like that side of it. It's just a shame that the Galaxy S8 will still look much more futuristic than this guy. So in our detailed renders as well that we worked on with the Bro King, we also did bring this design to life with the Touch ID sensor on the back. I mean, if it wouldn't go in the power button, that's where it would go, according to earlier rumors. And I would say it doesn't look terrible. Vanya did also share in a tweet some details about the coloring of the iPhone. This is based on nothing. He didn't really give any evidence as to why or where it's coming from, but he said the iPhone 8 will come in 4 colors. Now, 3 are existing shades that we currently have, and the 4th one will be a new mirror-like finish. And he provided some images of cases to show what this could mean, either like a titanium mirror finish, maybe a glossy mirror silver finish, or just a goldish mirror, who knows? I mean, we'll have to see, but a mirror finish sounds interesting, much like jet black, which is almost mirror-like. It would probably be very difficult to keep clean. And just earlier today, this back panel, supposedly of the iPhone 8, has leaked from /leaks. It shows the cutouts for the vertical camera and really not much else. There's the Apple logo and the iPhone symbol on the bottom, no FCC labels, no small text on there, just that. So Vanya Geskin seems to think it is fake. Most likely it is super thin, but that's not out of the ordinary here. It's just that it's here so early and no description, no saying if it's legit or not. Apparently it might be fake, and I'm hoping it's not though, because it doesn't have Touch ID on the back in that circle ring underneath the Apple logo. So this might be an indication that that might not end up there, but it really doesn't mean much as it's coming from an unknown source. A KeyBank Capital Markets analyst is predicting that Apple has just a few weeks left to decide what to do with Touch ID. He says in August, they are going to have their last window to order the Touch ID modules for the the iPhone or skip it entirely, not have it on the iPhone, or delay the iPhone significantly after even the October date. He's saying that even if Apple does replace it with facial recognition, it's just not the same. You know, it won't work for Apple Pay because not a lot of banks will trust it. It's too early. Even if it is eventually implemented, it just won't be as convenient as Apple Pay, as you'll have to look at it the entire time. You can't just put your finger on your phone with it in your pocket with a face mask on while you're skiing. I don't know. The convenience just won't be the same. And he's saying Apple just has a few weeks left to decide. At this point in time, there are so many conflicting rumors that we don't really know which one is going to be the real deal. Of course, I'm hoping Apple places it in the power button or in display, but really, we've heard the rumors that Apple might replace it entirely with facial recognition, so we'll really have to see about that one. Not that it's much consolation after this bad news we've heard, but Vania has tweeted this, saying that he knows an insider from a Fortune 500 company that is responsible for iPhone accessories who's saying that the screen protector design is 100% correct. Hopefully that's the case, you know, but without many more details who's saying it, if they're reliable, we can't really know for sure. But of course, I mean, I want to hope that the design that I showed you guys earlier isn't the one, and this one actually is. But hey, we'll have to see. We just got a few more months to go, a few more tense months, as we're going to be hearing so many conflicting reports here until we know what for sure is going to happen. And a very interesting rumor from John Gruber, who works for the Daring Fireball, a very reliable and reputable guy. So he's saying that the wireless charging in the iPhone 8, it will be getting it, but it will not be activated at launch. Much like portrait mode, which was only activated in iOS 10.1 in an update, he says wireless charging will be the very same. He says the adapter for wireless charging, the pad, will be sold separately, but that's not why Apple is going to be delaying it. He's saying there is either a software or hardware issue they need to figure out, maybe with the charging pad itself, who knows, maybe the software side of things, and then they'll only after a couple months, maybe in iOS 11.1, he said, release the wireless charging feature of the iPhone 8. All right, buckle in, kiddos. This next one is going to be some tough reality to take in. Also from John Gruber. In this one, he talks about the pricing of the iPhone 8, and I recommend you guys read it. I'll leave a link down below in the description. So, I'll give it to you guys straight. The iPhone 8 could potentially even stretch to $1,399. He says that's not unreasonable for Apple to go that high, starting at $1,249 with the flagship going to $1,399. That's just insane. Some of the reasoning he gives for this, of course, is the premium materials and all of that. It's going to be a professional phone. It's going to be aimed at the people that don't want to settle with the base, the 7S in this question. They want the best. He gave an example that Apple has the iPad and the iPad Pro, the MacBook and the MacBook Pro. They have a Pro lineup of everything. Why not do the same to the iPhone? The iPhone 8 is going to be Apple's all out on a phone. It's not going to sacrifice materials. It's not going to sacrifice features, nor battery life. It'll have everything, and is going to be aimed at more of the professional consumer side. So of course, Apple is going to have the iPhone 7S around $700, $800. But if the iPhone Organic LED edition is going to cost only $200 more, why would people even want the 7S? That's his reasoning. They need to create a bigger divide between the 7S and the iPhone 8 model for people to treat that one as more of an exclusive device, and for a lot of people to opt for the 7S, because Apple is going to be making most of their money from the iPhone 7S, and they don't want people to not choose it because the price difference between it and the iPhone 8 is so small. Basically, the iPhone 8 is going to be ridiculously expensive because it's going to be marketed at more of a professional market. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Apple can't really produce these things in bulk. They don't have the means to mass produce them, so even if they didn't have a massive price on them, they still couldn't sell as many as they could because they wouldn't be able to make enough. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, read it down below. It's not too long of a read, but it's really eye-opening for the strategy Apple's going to be using for the pricing on the iPhone 8. I will tell you guys one thing. At this price point, if I were to pay $1,250 up to $1,400 for my iPhone 8, it damn well better have that futuristic design that was so hyped on the internet. I don't want this square design, just a little evolution from the iPhone 7 Plus. No, I want a miracle phone that can heal me, that can make me breakfast, and that looks like it came from 2020. And tying into this report from Deutsche Bank, they actually did release a prediction that the iPhone 8 will not reach the sales of the iPhone 6. Basically, there was all this hype about a super cycle for the iPhone 8. Unfortunately, these guys think that's not the case because of the high price of the iPhone 8 and also because of the lack of carrier subsidies. So contracts are a thing of the past, and people aren't really being forced into commitment to get this new phone. So it might not be that great of sales even, although most other people seem to predict that it will be. And here's just another reason to add to the piling list as to why Apple is delaying the iPhone 8. They're actually short about 30% how many storage chips they need for the iPhone 8 to begin mass production. And they're actually turning to Samsung to help them fill the void and produce more. So these are NAND chips, 3D NAND chips with 48 layers on the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. They might actually be going to a 64 layer to create even faster storage, but that's not confirmed. Basically, it's a very complex process to make these, and they need Samsung's help, or else the iPhone 8 could be delayed so much further behind the October schedule already. And if Apple really does turn to 64 layer flash storage, that will be insane. The iPhone 8 will be the pinnacle of speed. Not only will it have the fastest storage in the market, it will have the fast display, 120 Hz refresh rate, and the Apple A10X or the A11, whichever one they use, will be just crazy in the iPhone 8. It will be an industry standard in the fastest phone on the market, period. And looking a little bit forward, Nikkei is reporting that Apple will be using organic LED displays, period, and no LCDs anymore on their future iPhones. So starting in the second half of 2018, they will just be switching exclusively to organic LED. And beyond that, of course, micro LED is looming on the horizon. But next year, expect to see 3 new organic LED models from Apple. So guys, that's it. The latest stuff on the iPhone 8. I really hope that this is not the design. It's not the one that was hyped, not the one we want in our pockets. But guys, of course, Apple will sell it. It will sell like nothing else just because it's the latest and greatest from Apple. But even this would be an improvement from my 7 Plus, and I love this phone already. So guys, thanks for watching. That's the latest. Stay tuned for the next one. I'll be having that AirPods giveaway for you soon. Have a great day, and we'll see what happens here in just a few months. Peace.